Hello, it's Scott Newcomb with Zenvy AI, and welcome to the Systems Are Sexy podcast. Today's guest is Botway.ai founder Clinton Botway. Clinton is a longtime NYC real estate broker who I'm guessing is a Knicks fan.
Absolutely.
Okay. So he's now focused on building AI-powered leasing infrastructure designed to automate and streamline the rental process for landlords and property operators. So we're going to talk about how AI is changing multifamily leasing, self-guided apartment tours, real-time lead response, property management integrations, and why Clinton believes the future of brokerage is leaner, faster, and more data-driven. Man, that was a lot of information we're going to talk about today, isn't it? So Clinton, welcome to the show. How are we doing?
All good, Scott. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah. Reason I want to talk to you, I feel like what your approach is a little bit different because a lot of prop tech companies, and we've had on the podcast, have, build software for brokers or property managers, and your approach feels a little bit different because you're trying to replace inefficiencies in the brokerage process itself. So, what made you take that route?
Yeah, it's a good question. So, I think when I started this journey, when I started, thinking about starting my own company and what working with AI actually meant, I think, there's two choices. One is to let's say rent software. So there's, I don't know, probably over $1 billion worth of software companies out there that are basically doing not the exact same thing, but something similar to what I'm doing. So I could go rent software from a company, would probably cost a bunch of money, but I figured that the second option, which is what I went with, was, if I have an AI company, right? If I have a software company, and I'm not a software guy, I should, and we're living in the age of AI where like software should be, if not free, very easy to build yourself. I thought I should build it myself, right? And it's led to some interesting challenges. And to be frank, I've spent a ton of time learning and building, and basically like building exactly what I want to build and what I think my clients want, and what I, as a leasing manager and real estate broker for 15 years, thought that I needed. So I'm basically trying to use software to build or to solve my own problems, and to make myself more efficient, and hopefully my clients like that too.
Yeah. So, someone that's maybe unfamiliar with Byway, what problem are you guys solving?
Yeah, so there's a few problems that I think my customers have that they either know, or they either know that they have, or they absolutely should think that they have. Number one is cost. Traditional brokers, at least in New York City, charge somewhere between half a month, which is, let's say, 4%, all the way up to 15% of a lease, which to me is crazy. It made sense, let's say, 10 plus years ago, when somebody has to be physically there, opening the door, following up with people like over call, text, email, and phone. But now that problem is essentially solved. I think with software, AI is really great at doing repetitive tasks. So that's following up, opening the door, making sure people, have all the information that they need to have. So yeah, cost is number one. Number two is, like we were just talking about, speed. So there was a study done by the Harvard Business Review that said if a lead is not engaged with within 5 minutes, the chance of successful connection drops off by 100 times. So I would see this, when I was managing a brokerage before I started this company, which was basically like lead comes in, and then if nobody gets back to them within, like, I'll give humans a little bit more leeway than 5 minutes, but if you get back to somebody within 5 minutes, they're definitely going to respond, even if the apartment is not for them. But if you wait overnight into the morning, and then like into the afternoon, people are on Zillow or StreetEasy, or your listing service of choice, and they've already inquired about 30 other apartments. So speed would be number two. And then three is visibility. Visibility means that anytime you're thinking about your leasing process or your sales process, you can log into my console, which is basically, it shows you everything that's happening at your properties, how many inquiries you're getting, how many tours, applications, leases, etc. you can figure out what else is going on in the market through our comps as well that we have access to. And yeah, basically, price, speed, and visibility is what we're trying to solve for.
Yeah, that's great. I was going to ask you maybe start with the first one because this was always probably the most important to the process is about pricing. You know, you had mentioned about half a month or a full month's rent, and you want to talk
So what do
about
I do? Yeah.
yeah, like what yeah, but also like how does your pricing work and the value that someone gets? Because someone may go, you're only charging me what? So how do you become so
Yeah.
aggressive, and what's the value to the client look like?
Yeah, so I'm selling brokerage service just like anybody else would. So that means that we're selling your property for a landlord. We're qualifying tenants, we're touring them, we're answering their questions, and then we're qualifying their application, sending them a lease. They're signing the lease. Hopefully with no markups or definitely with no markups, and collecting first month's rent and security deposit from them. And obviously everything that goes along with that, which is answering their questions, getting them access, everything like that, and marketing the property too in the appropriate places. So we talked about what, let's say other brokerages charge. What I think is possible is and what I'm charging is basically a $1,000 flat fee. So it doesn't matter if the apartment is $10,000 or, $1,500, although there aren't that many of those in New York City, unfortunately. I think that having like a streamlined process and delivering an executed lease with a qualified tenant is is the service that we're providing. And the idea there, the idea in general is like there's an idea of an end-to-end task with AI. I mean, we could talk about generative AI if you want, but this is like the same exact process that a real estate broker would do or a leasing agent or somebody selling a home. How do you get from initial inquiry to closed deal? And the reason that I chose leasing was because number one, that's what my specialty has been for the last, let's say 15 years I've been representing landlords. But number two, it's a lot more simple and less legalese and less, let's say, technical steps than selling a home. But the ultimate goal is to have an end-to-end transaction done only by software eventually to sell a home or to help somebody sell or purchase or rent a home. That's kind of the idea.
Yeah, you obviously the end to end, and I'm curious in the middle there about you're collecting data about the leads and the tours, and what insights do you think landlords are missing today because they're just not getting enough data? It's kind of more anecdotal feedback than actual real feedback.
So that's exactly what I would say. It's mostly anecdotal. What I used to do with my clients, and I still do, is have a weekly check-in where I'm sending them, and I've surveyed a bunch of landlords, and other brokerages do this too. So I know I'm not the only one that does this, but it's basically like you have a weekly check-in meeting, right, with a client. Here's what happened in the last week. This is how many inquiries we had, how many tours. This is what one person said about the apartment. Maybe it's on too high of a floor or there's not enough light for this person or whatever it is. But all of that, again, like you said, that it feels anecdotal. What I was looking for and what I think that I built is I want all of this feedback to be quantifiable. So there's a bunch of different questions that we ask in leasing over and over and over again. Really simple, like when are you moving in? What kind of apartment are you looking for? What's your budget? A few other small questions as well. But so I basically put that. I mean, I have AI parse everything that comes in via email, call, and text, and link it to one person in our console and say, hey, this is what this person is looking for. And then if the client wants, and a lot of my clients are super smart and engaged and active and awesome, they say like, what is this person saying? So you can actually go in and click on their profile and you can see the entire conversation that they're having with me. And what I used to do is basically, and what I think, again, 99+% of people are still doing is every week they're making a report downloading an Excel file, sending their client an Excel file with like, hey, this is how many leads we had, this is how many tours we had, etc. So again, that is quantifiable, but there's so much more data that's it's both anecdotal, like it's individual to a person, but I don't want my feedback and I don't want decisions about pricing or whether we should drop the price or put another apartment on the market or price another apartment in the future just based on anecdotal information. I want to give my clients and also AI that I'm using as much information as possible, and then you can kind of distill it and discern what the best next steps are. But one other benefit is after a listing has been up for a week, you basically have enough data to figure out what's been going wrong or not, or right. So, you know, but you can really tell in the first 72 hours, right? Like I was reading an article in the New York Times about somebody who sold their home by themselves using Gemini, which I love to see. And they got like 20 inquiries and tours in the first 72 hours. It sounds great, but that just means that they probably underpriced their property. And, we can talk about, price discovery. And I actually like pricing something that's 5% under market. Then you get a ton of people that are interested and you drive the price up, et cetera. But so it is actually a legitimate strategy. But, conversely, in the first 72 hours, assuming the listing is correct, you got good marketing assets, videos, pictures, description. People can contact you and ask questions. If you're not getting anything, it's probably overpriced. There's something wrong. I won't say it's definitely the price, but there's something wrong.
I get that. I kind of want to switch now to more about your journey in launching Botway, and what's been the biggest challenge right now about launching an AI first brokerage platform?
It's a good question. So I would say number one is just getting people to real estate is an older industry. Obviously, there's a ton of prop tech investment and other companies that are doing other interesting things out there. I would say that selling people, especially in New York City, which is where I'm focused, and I'm also licensed in the rest of New York State and Connecticut, so I'm going to be expanding there. But you know, what I'm doing is trying to do self tours, self-directed tours, which is helping keep costs for both me and the landlord lower. It's also a better touring experience in a lot of cases. You don't have to wait for somebody to open the door for you when they're available. So I would say that's probably the biggest hurdle is convincing landlords in New York City that nobody needs to be with somebody to for them to tour. But the rest of the country, I mean, all of my competitors, I think there's been like 50 million self-directed tours with the software that I'm using and the process, but there's a bunch of other companies as well that have 20 plus million self-directed tours. And I won't say that nothing has ever gone wrong, but it's, if you think about it, a little bit safer when you're actually like verifying who somebody is, doing a quick background check on them. You have a government issued photo ID. So so yeah, I'd say convincing people to just let software lease their apartment, but I'm still heavily involved in every transaction, and my goal was kind of always to have work at this for 2 or 3 years, have AI learn everything that I would say, and basically clone myself within within a short time frame. So I'm still involved in every transaction. We're not approving people that don't exist or, are using fake pay stubs or something like that, which is also kind of a rampant problem. So yeah, trying to solve for inefficiencies in brokerage, essentially.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to talk about kind of your go to market because I know we talked earlier about, outbound outreach, LinkedIn, podcasts, email campaigns. What do you think's working the best for you as far as generating awareness in customers, and maybe where do you want to direct your focus after that?
So I have, excuse me. So all of my customers right now are repeat clients. They're people who trust me and know me, and I'm done as much as somebody can be done with a minimum viable product. So I've done a few transactions successfully. the process works, my app works, the access works. Again, I'm still I'm still very much involved and overseeing everything. So go to market. I need to get some more clients again by not word of mouth, but potentially past clients, people that I've worked with before that I have some warm leads with, and then I have a cold email marketing campaign. It's not all cold; some of it is warm. I'm posting every day on LinkedIn. I'm going to be doing some LinkedIn outreach as well, and I'm trying to figure out the best way to do like targeted marketing as well, whether it's to my existing database or retargeting, stuff like that.
Yeah, I get that. Do you think, you talked a little bit about the concerns that maybe some landlords have about giving access. Do you think landlords are excited about AI automation right now, or you feel like you're still spending a lot of time educating the market?
Definitely a lot of time educating the market. It's an older real estate as an industry is an older, demographic. I think I don't know the statistic on landlords specifically, but for real estate brokers in general, I think the average age is like 55 to 60, somewhere in there, which is pretty crazy. So, and it's an old school way of doing business. I mean, it's brick and mortar. A lot of these assets in New York and elsewhere, they've been owned by generations. So the next generation taking over, they're the people that are doing acquisitions, they're buying, they're managing the asset, potentially doing property management as well if everything is kept in house. They're using AI and workflows for like to underwrite properties, to do research on potential acquisitions. I know a lot of property managers that use ChatGPT, not in a workflow sense, but just this person send me this email, let me throw it into ChatGPT, and it's a lot more nicely formatted and maybe a little bit more polite. But yeah, I would say that's like a pretty low level use of AI, but it's still, people are using it, and I think people are excited about it, but also, cautiously optimistic. And I think that people know that they don't, what do I want to say? I think that people are excited about it and they know they need to learn it if they don't already know it. And so I think the curiosity is there. I think that, again, there are a lot of other companies doing similar stuff to what I'm doing. And there's, if you have a startup and you don't have AI in your name, you're not getting funded. Unfortunately, which doesn't, it's a great GP or VC opportunity to find some non AI companies, honestly. But yeah.
If you were, because I agree with what you're saying about it's very traditional with brokerage is how, hey, we doing it this way for 50 years. We're going to keep doing it this way. What would you
That's it.
say to like a brokerage now? Like, hey, this is what you guys need to start doing differently before it's too late.
So for a brokerage, I think that it's all about efficiency to me is how I see it. So, AI can do property valuations quite well. It can respond to inquiries and let's say initial questions quite well. So I think those are probably the lowest hanging fruit. It's never going to be 100% as good as a human. I think what AI is really good at doing is getting you, let's say, somewhere between 80 to 90% of the way there, and it does that essentially instantly, let's say, 5 or 10 minutes of compute time or something like that. And then a human, especially a local market expert who's, doing a CMA for a client or something like that, they can go in and say, okay, I'm not going to include this one. We're going to include this one instead, and maybe change a pricing a little bit. But so I think pricing is low hanging fruit. And again, I think response times, again, if you're not responding to people immediately with answers to their questions and a time to schedule a tour, that's what an initial inquiry is almost always about. You're leaving money on the table. I don't think that you're representing your client's best interest as well as you could. There's plenty of other things that we could talk about, but I think pricing, workflow, and speed of response is like something you should do like right now.
Absolutely. So, what's the long-term vision for Botway? Or do you see this becoming a full operating system for leasing or sales, or kind of what's your vision for the next 5 years? Let's say.
I'm thinking about tomorrow right now. Yeah,
Right.
not the next 5 years. We're gonna see where it goes, but what my goal for the company is really to help make buying, selling, and renting more affordable, easier, and a little bit more user friendly. And obviously, affordable means price is a lot less. And so, what I'm gonna try and do as a funnel, a lead generation funnel, is uh, is let people list their properties for free. There's a ton of companies out there that do like flat fee MLS listings and then let the seller or the landlord, sell their home themselves, let's say. So I'm going to make it free because I think that if you have a good product, you should be able to give it away for free if you're able to. I mean, other real estate brokers don't have this ability. I'm not going to help them as much as I would a client, but essentially forward everything to uh, to clients who want to sell homes themselves. I have a knowledge base of basically, again, the idea of trying to train an AI to be like me. You got to put it in situations and then critique it so that it gets better. And for the most part, I mean, even the normal models, ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude. If you upload, let's say, if you get 4 offers or something like that, if you upload all 4 of them, chances are the regular models are going to be pretty good at sussing out what's good, what's bad, or what you should accept or what you should counter with, whatever it is. So yeah, I think making it free and then providing, again, what we were talking about before, an end-to-end transaction just done by software. And then my goal is to make it as inexpensive as possible. So, I have a $1,000 minimum right now. And that includes me, like you get me as well in a transaction, but I could see like a one flat fee or even potentially like a 9.95, let's say, flat fee for me to sell your home or rent your apartment or something like that. So that's the goal. When we get there, we'll see. But yeah, I enjoy doing it. I enjoy helping people buy, sell, and rent homes. I think it's a lot of fun, and it's deeply personal. So I'm happy to stay involved for as long as necessary.
Cool. If people want to learn more about you or your company, what's the best way to go about doing that?
Yeah, my website is Botway, Botway.ai. I didn't change my name. That's the name I was given at birth. And yeah, I think the name was the easiest part, right? Like I figured I have this name. I got to do something with it. And the only thing that I know is real estate. So let's add software to it and see what happens.
And you have .ai in it, so private equity is going to be calling soon.
There you go. Yeah, I'm getting plenty of cold emails from bots, and I'll give you a tip. It's a little bit funny. I got so in on LinkedIn, I have my name is Clinton A is my first what's it called? My first name on LinkedIn. So every email that starts with "Hey Clinton A," I know it's I know it's automatically automated generated. So anyway, a tip for your audience: spam filter. Start with your name.
Yeah. Well, Clint, thanks so much for being on the show. I appreciate it.
You got it, Scott. Nice to be with you.